I'm in the middle of a repair here, guys, and I thought I'm going to start to record this because this is unusual. This is a little bit unusual. I'm working on a flamming aerator. Alright. Here's what's funny. Yeah, it's got one of these. I tell you what I do, guys, when I try to take out one of these valves like this. You know, I take one of these T7s. I take it down in there and turn it to where it hits like in sync. Then I'll just knock this thing down in tight with a hammer. And the reason is you don't want to spin that out. And after I get it done, I'll get me a little torch, and I'll just heat right around here. I mean, heat it good. You might even feel the heat start getting down here on your fingers. Heat that real good, then it should come out. But anyway, when I pulled that out, I thought, what in the world's going on? I had this little part right in here. I looked down there and I thought, well, what in the world is this? Is this new? Usually this is a one-piece valve set that just comes down, so I'm kind of lost on, I'm just going to leave that in there for now. This here freaking thing's a grimy mess. I've never seen one this bad of shape. This thing must have been leaking quite some time. But, I'll tell you another thing too. Let me just kind of stick this back on here for just a moment. I'm not going to put the flint wheel back in there, but let me tell you something here. There's 2 screws in here. Let me find the other one. Magnets. Just give me a moment here, guys. I want you to pay attention to this. You see these screws? This one here's got a taper on it. This one here doesn't. And you can see down in here, this is one without the taper. This is one with the taper. Now these are glued in. I almost freaking have a hard time getting them out. This is what this one's like when I got it out. I tell you what you do. You gotta get a screwdriver that just fits in there good. Alright. Then once, what I'll usually do, say for instance, when I get it in there, I'll put that in there and I'll just take this and I'll just hit it with a hammer several times. Alright. And that's just help break anything loose right up in here. Then I'll put torch on these screws. Let them get hot. Okay. Then you're going to have to hold your screwdriver some way. I run this here all the way through these jaws to get some pressure on turning. You're going to need a lot of pressure unless you got a big handled screwdriver. These are small. So you got to be careful getting these out. Alright, you take your time with them. Another thing too is, this is the this is a little thing here for the flint tube here. Okay. Now this will okay, once you pull this back, this will pop up, and you stick a flint in it. You have just enough room between that and your flint wheel. You get a flint in there. Now there's a screw back here. or that the screw's underneath, but see right here, see that little hole there? That there's for a little spring. It's supposed to pop this up. Okay. And there's that little spring. That little spring goes in here like this. So when you put that back down, see what I got there? When you put that back down, see that puts pressure on when you got it closed there to raise this here, cover up, flint housing here if you would. All right. Now listen too, if these things get plugged up, get you a 2.5 millimeter. Look at here, 2.5 millimeter bar. Perfect. See that? Find something to put this on. You know, flat, and dry that out. Dry that out. Be careful, because you know you can ding these up a little bit. I've done it on one lighter that I can think of right now, but that just fits in there perfect. 2.5 millimeter steel rod. Get them on eBay. Yeah, eBay. Everything's on eBay, it seems like. Well, anyway, then of course when you're let me get that spring off there. Of course, when you're putting back together, there's this little screw that goes in through here. All right. Now sometimes you'll have to turn this valve. That valve's a square valve. You'll see it right there. See that? Sometimes you'll have to turn that valve just enough to give you clearance. That's your flame adjustment. True, there's no flame adjustment on the bottom here. You don't want them flaminaires with a flame adjustment on the bottom, guys. You don't want them at all. I don't care even if they give them to you. They're good for parts. That's it. If they leak, if that valve leaks on the bottom, the flame adjustment valve, yeah, forget it. You got a problem. But anyway, you have to turn that sometimes to get that in the right position, to get that screw in and out. All right. What I usually do with these flint wheels too, sometimes they get where they're just all dusted, right? And I'll just put them on one of these right here, and I'll get me a brass brush, dip in a little bit of alcohol, and clean that flint wheel up real good. Good. And you can look at it now. Good as new. All right. All right. Now, get you a little, just get you a little pair pliers right here. Let me get down there a little further. You can see this here. This is your hinge cap. This here assembly here. Also, I want you to watch this valve. Close that cap. See that valve going down? You see that little steel lever right there? Well, it goes up to here, and it's got a little brass plunger on the bottom, so when you close this lid, this little mechanism right here is what pushes down on that lever and stops that valve. Now keep in mind too, this here, what this does here is it protrudes through that little hole there and sticks up right through there. See the little hole? What this happens is when you lift this up to change the flint, that pushes down on this and that valve, so it stops the gas from coming out. Handy little feature. Anyway, just remember that the short end goes in first at the bottom. The tall end toward the top. Well, alright. Let's get a tool in here and just get that out of there. You can put this in pretty much about either way as far as the bottom, but you just, when I put them in, guys, here, when I put that in, see that little rod right there? Let me go in here and stick this in there. See if I can get it in there and stay on camera at the same time. There we go, alright. I'll leave it like that, then I'll just turn this. I'll get something, I'll turn that. Alright, when I get it to that position, I'll just stick my fingernail I got left in there. That's what happens when you're trying to look at the screen and just put it back on like this. Anyway, that's real simple to get out of there. Alright, and take this apart. First thing you want to do is unscrew this right here. There's a spring underneath that. Get that out. Then when you pull this out, put it down and shove it all over in the corner right there. That'll let this thing come out. See? You got to put it back in the same way too. Don't forget that brass plug's got to be up. You'll see a little angle in it. Boy, I gotta throw that stuff in some alcohol. That stuff's nasty. I've never seen one that grimy. I've never seen one, so we must have had a really, really good leak. Now, this here valve will just pull out the top. Now I want to show you something here. See these two pins inside there? They fit down in here. And this is your flame adjustment screw. When you turn that, it turns this inside thing here and compresses the sponge valve assembly down in there, or the flame regulator valve system. Yeah, don't forget there's a little spring in there too. Boy, always have a heck of a time trying to find you can see the orifice down in there. I ground. You got to get you a little screwdriver, and I got this in here. I ground this one up just particular for this job. I think you can kind of see why. And it's not a good job, but grinded, but just for unloosening this. Boy, whew, man. Now you can probably see there's no ring on there. That's and there's only one O-ring in there. All right. Boy, let me clean this out a little bit because I don't want any of that dirt getting in that top of that valve system there. That's really, really dirty. I don't know how many boxes of these Q-tips I go through a year. But, you know, when I work on a lighter, I like to clean it up. Now, these other lighter companies have sent lighters to these service centers, guys, and I'll tell you what, they don't clean them up, all right, any more than they have to work on it. I don't have a ultrasonic cleaner, and I don't have the time to sit around and wait for that to clean, you know. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see all them lighters? I got to repair all these. Alright. I got to repair all these. I got 2 over there that's repaired already. But I got to repair all these lighters here. Plus this one. So, you know. Keep me busy. Well, let me find my focus knob here. I don't know why. I mean, I'm just guessing that there was a good leak in that. Now I do a little bit of a when I want to show you. See that O-ring down there? I don't want to talk to you about that one. I just want to get this cleaned up just a little bit. It's not going to be the best job, but want somebody at least think I took time to get something done right. Alright, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that O-ring. I'm going to come back this way a little bit. I got to get closer. There's that O-ring. Now, I'm going to measure that, but I didn't have the exact size because I ran out something that was close to it. So I used a 1 millimeter thick. See, that's pretty close to 1 millimeter thick. So I used and I think it was probably about 3.5. Okay. So about 3.5. And when you're doing that, guys, you want to measure the inside of where that O-ring is going to, just to, boy, that's good. Ooh, boy, that's really gunked up. I measured the inside of this too, just to get an idea. It's about 3.43, about 3.5. But the only thing I had was a 4. All right. Now, let me get in here. Let me get in here and clean the inside of this out. Where the orifice is, the orifice end here. These lighters take some time, guys. Look how dirty that is. That's dirty enough. I gotta grab another cotton swab and pull cotton off of it. Get it in there and do it again. Yeah, that's clean. Stick her down in here. I want to show you something here. You see that black part in there? That's rubber. Okay? That's a piece of rubber. Now right here, and there's a hole in the middle of it, and right here, there's a piece of cotton. This is what they're using for a flame adjustment valve. What I do is I take that cotton out. I go over here to my desk where everything's a freaking mess. And I gotta search around here and look for what I want. Looking for that little, there it is, hooked onto the magnet. And get down that hole here. See if I can. Let me come through this way. I usually have to get a safety pin here and poke that metal out, because usually there's like a piece of something in there or something. There we go. And okay, blow that out. I got a good clean hole set. Top and bottom both. And what I do is now, guys, I'll just get a little dab of cotton. It don't have to be very much. That might be more than enough right there. Kind of roll up my fingers. I want to stick it in that hole. Alright. Now I'm just going to leave that cotton in there like that, okay? That's just like a wick. That's all that is. Keeping liquid butane from coming out this valve. Alright, now let's see. I told you that was like 3.5, but I didn't have a 3.5, so I had a No, there's a 3.5. No, I wanted to use a 4. I use a 4 on that. Okay, I use a 4 on that. Okay, 2 millimeter ID, 1 millimeter thick core on each side, 4 millimeters outer diameter. All right, then I've been using this 4.9 0.8, and the reason is to give me a little bit of well, let me explain it to you here and I get on. Now, okay, there's a lot of crud down in there. I got to clean that up. I'm going to put an O-ring. You remember where this O-ring I took off here? Well, I'm going to put an O-ring in this channel that's on the bottom here. There wasn't an O-ring in there, but I'm putting one there. And I'll explain to you why. Here, well, while I'm cleaning it out, I'll explain to you. This here part screws on that, right? And there's an O-ring right there, but this is a flame adjustment. If you happen to unscrew that a little bit to get a taller flame, you could start leaking right around that seal that's on there and right out here. So what I've been doing is putting another seal on the bottom, which might make your flame adjustment valve a little harder to turn. You know, but you're going to have a little tool to do it with anyway. But just to give a little bit, just to help it so when you're turning this out, that other O-ring is going to come up and seal against this as well. So just as kind of a double safety measure, if you will. I did this on another lighter here earlier, and it worked good, and I thought I'm just going to keep doing it because it's just there's only one thing worse than fixing a lighter. It's already difficult to work on, and that's having to redo it again. All right, so that's kind of, to me, it's preventative maintenance, okay? Preventative maintenance. Try it a little. Just try it again right here on that back side. Well, I got that open like that, I'm going to go in here, and it's easier to get some of these little crevices here with this cotton on a little set of tweezers. Alright, that helped a little bit. Alright, now let's put this one on. Yeah. Well, doggone it. Let's try it a different way. Yeah, I got it on there last time like that. Let's just keep doing it. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, putting that old ring, setting it on the back there, pushing it down in the crevice beneath that other O-ring, okay? That's what I'm doing. See what we got? Alright. Now, put this on. This is actually be about ready to test, but I gotta figure out this here flame adjustment screw here, or this, excuse me, filler valve screw. I know that works. I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm going to put a seal on this. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a seal on this. And go from there. Let's try try one of these right here. 3mm OD. Let's do a little checking here. 3.2. That'll give us some room. And I want to use a on the outside of this here. I'm going to use one of these 4.9 to 0.8. Get them off of AliExpress. I ain't got a lot of time to post links, guys. Just get on there and look. You know, there's that store right there. Right there's the name of that guy's store. Go in there and type in metric O-rings and Buna, nitrile rubber, okay? And then freaking order various sizes. All the way up to several thousand. If you're into repairing like me, but if you're not, just order what you need for your lighter. Don't hurt to have extra. Come from China, they're fairly cheap, so it's not going to hurt to have some extras. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright. Okay, let's shoot a little gas in here. Maybe. All right. Yeah, I know we got plenty of gas in there now. Well, we got gas coming out. Let me tighten this down. All right, we're good there. Now, let me clean up this valve stopper assembly. Alright, there's that little piece. There's that. There's that. There's a real dirty mess here. Let me scrape some of that grime off of there first. Listen, guys, I put these videos on YouTube here to help somebody, you know, repair a lighter that, you know, might not be worth repairing if you can't do it yourself. You know, I've had people want, you know, you don't want to spend $50 on a $20 lighter, okay? It's just, I mean, it's just, if it's got some sentimental value to you, I understand. I had a little gal, I don't think of her name. I can't remember her name, but she sent me a picture of a lighter she had. It was one her dad gave her, and she wanted to fix, but around the filler valve underneath it is plastic lighter, right? Plastic tank and everything. Around the filler valve underneath had spider cracks, and I just told her, I said, I'm sorry, every young lady, unless, you know, there's just really no repairing that. Felt sorry for her, and so I just sent her, I have lighters around here, and I sent her a lighter. She thanked me for it, you know, and on my own dime. So, you know, people reach out to you for a little help. I hate disappointing, but I'll tell you what, guys, sometimes I just gotta disappoint you. And believe you me, I get disappointed as well, because you don't like these lighters I got here. I'm fixing for this guy. All these lighters here are for one guy. I think he sent me 17 lighters or something like that. They're all for one guy, and I spent, this is his third batch, so he's got a total of around 50 to 60 lighters he sent me in the last few months, you know. In order to get I'm reaming this out in order to get I don't have what you call the correct size, perfect size rubber for this, so I'm kind of just reaming it out a little bit to help me to get another stopper in there. Well, anyway, you know, I spent 2 hours on one lighter, and I couldn't get the leak. I was having a heck of a time. It had a plastic tank, and I couldn't get that filler valve seat. Turned out it had a plastic tank, had a crack in it, so I wasted 2 hours on that lighter, and you know, I didn't charge him for it, because if I can't fix it, there's no charge. And so people say, well, man, you lost money. Well, I lost money, but you can basically look at it like this: the money I lost, I paid for an education. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, you know, the education is put your freaking glasses on so you can see something. Anyway, okay, let's get a little rubber stopper out of here. You know, I do this, you know, I like making the videos, help people out, but I do make a little money on the side doing this. Obviously, this guy's got 20 lighters here, you know. And these are quality Calibri lighters. I got a dual flame. It's really nice. Just like you'll see, look at here, a dual flame lighter. It's really nice shape. Pipe cigarette lighter. He even had one that he sent me for free. But it's not good shape, same thing. But you can see it's all burgered up on the inside and broken. But it's parts lighter, you know what I mean? It's parts lighter. So now I got some extra parts if I should ever burger up a valve on somebody's dual flame, you know. I got an extra one, because those are a little bit somewhat tedious to work on as well. I cut a bunch of stoppers and I kind of throw them in here. So right now I'm just trying to find one that'll work. Gotta get it a little thicker. Might be easier just to cut another stopper, but I'm gonna tell you what, guys, that's them freaking fingers of mine, them stubby freaking fingers of mine, I'll tell you. That kind of tedious work for me, but it is. See if I can get a close-up getting that in there. I tried to start with a pair of these. Now let me get my where do you go? Oh well, grab a new pair. I think I've used these yet. I get these here at Harbor Freight. Alright, that's where I get these at. They ain't very much, they ain't the best quality, but they work for what I need it to do. I can't think of what they are, $4 or $5 for a set of them, but you get several in a set. Rather than getting online, just buying dental ones for $4 or $5 a piece, you know. So they're so cheap that you need to bend one or follow one down or whatever, you can do it. You're not going to feel guilty about it.